Bob.
That's my fault.
There was an idea. The idea was to bring together a group of...
Wrong one. All right, screw it. I'm just going to jump into this. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our first episode of the rebranding of Undisputed. We are now known as the Mad Tea Party, and we have some changes going forward that we'll talk about throughout the show, but we are glad you guys are all here. I am joined by my co-host, Cheshire Copperpots, Mr. Blurred Hawk. How are you, man?
I'm doing fantastic. I did not realize it's Monday, so now I'm not doing so hot. No, I'm good.
You know what? Mondays are – I wish we could, figure out some way to, rebrand Mondays where they're not the bad days, but coming off the weekend, it's hard not to do that.
I'll feel good about Mondays if we got 3-day weekends. If that was mandatory. I'll be good with Mondays.
Absolutely. And as you guys are probably hearing that other voice, Sam is back, but Sam is here to stay. Sam, how are you?
I am good. I am a little sleepy. It's late here, but I'm ready to talk about our topics tonight.
So
what
Kevin,
was her nickname for her?
Malice.
Malice.
Was it Malice? That was like the queen.
Oh, wait, we did have another name. No, that was Queen. That was on the tribe. That was Queen Pin. That was Queen Pin.
Oh, Queen Pin.
Yes.
I knew it was something like Queen Pin or Big Head or something.
Big Head.
It was something like that.
Rude.
And then the king of smart, Sean himself, is not here this evening. We hope that he's staying busy, staying active, and we will catch him on the next show. Before we get started, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Getaway Today, We're in the Park, as well as Sunken City Design. We appreciate everything you guys do for the show, whether it's sponsoring it and applying gifts and opportunities to get more outside the show. But if you've listened to our shows recently, you've known that We're in the Park has become host of Imagine That. So not only are they sponsor the show, but they are host on one of our deep creative thinking episode shows that we now have going. And we will be recording our next episode this coming Monday. We have quite a busy 2 weeks, so I hope everyone's prepared for it. But being prepared, I want to thank all our lamplighters who are always prepared, always at the ready to tune in, provide support, share their feedback, and call us out on Discord when we say something they don't agree with. So we appreciate all lamplighters, especially on this show. But with that, a few different changes. So we are going to still open up with our little game, and it's going to be the Cheshire game. And so it's very similar to what we used to do on Undisputed, higher, lower, just right. But this one, we're going to change it up a little bit, and it's called Choose Your Cup. And the way this game works is you can only keep one film. The other two films have to go, meaning they never existed. So they are just Spider-Man, out from a memory, never were there, sorry. So are you guys ready to play?
I think so.
Because I know the Mad Hatter up here, and I know this is going to be painful.
Whoa.
I don't trust your games, Lou. Like Mr. Mad Hatter. It's just we know you, so I'm cautiously prepared.
Cautiously, okay. All right. So our first one's out the gate. We are going princesses. We are going Moana. We are going Rapunzel. And we are going, let me pull my list. Elsa, Moana, Rapunzel. Two's got to go. One stays. Two of them never existed. Yes, Kevin, it is pronounced Hater, not Hatter. They're putting some respect on it.
That's
I appreciate
right.
it.
Mad Hater. That's right. Sorry.
Yeah. Can we make one of them go twice?
No, you cannot. But just real quick, though, I'm curious. Who are you trying to send to go twice?
He wants Elsa to let it go. What?
No, Rapunzel. 100%. I hate that character. With a passion.
So you're getting rid of
silver-haired bald.
So straight out, so Rapunzel. Who's your second one?
I'm not a Frozen fan. I literally, like, back in my early heydays and stuff, I was really outspoken. I'm not a big fan of musicals, and even though all Disney stuff has singing in it, this was too much. And so, Elsa, you got to go. I'm sorry.
So Elsa
Gotta
Rapunzel.
go. I wish I could sing because I would sing her out.
Sing her out. All right, so you're saying Moana stays, huh?
Yeah. Let's
All right,
keep
you got some people. You got some people in the chat that are agreeing with you. You got Amanda saying Moana stays.
Yeah.
Sam, which two got to go, and which one are you keeping?
I am gonna keep Rapunzel because she's got that classic story vibe from the fairy tales. I love her sense of adventure. I love that she doesn't give two shits about Flynn Rider until the end. And I love the music in Tangled. It's my favorite. So I'm going with Rapunzel stays.
That's your one, huh?
That's the one that's staying. So let it go to Elsa. And sorry, Moana, you're cute, but you're all bye. You can find your way out of here.
I figured you
for
would have
me-
kept Moana simply because she's as close to a connection to Namor as you're going to get. But okay.
I mean, I did think about her connection to water and my connection to water.
Yep.
Like, I was like, if I get rid of Moana, I can't go fishing anymore. Just kidding. I can still go fishing.
And
but...
Rapunzel, she's a domestic violence perpetrator. So.
Oh my god!
Yes, we're aiming at sitting. We're getting this way. Absolutely.
Bust out the frying pans. Yeah, she's bad.
Oh man. So wow. Jen said, "I'm not a Disney princess follower. I could do without all of them." Jen,
she's got rid of the whole lot.
She's sipping from the same teacup as we are right now. She's coming in hot early in the game. Blurred is just afraid of frying pans.
Yeah, they can kill you. Why wouldn't you be afraid of frying
They
pans?
do not kill you. They just give you a bump on your head.
Well, she's swinging a cast iron one. There's a good chance.
Yeah, cast irons are a different. Yeah,
And
that's a different.
she didn't just hit the poor guy once. It was multiple times. Like she was giving Jerry Springer a run for his show.
Domestic violence. She would. I mean, here's the thing. Although the princesses, if they were real life, she would have.
He was in her.
She would have a felony charge. She would
All
have
right, so
No, he
So-
was trying to steal her ish.
So hold on. All right, I'm
It's
gonna
a
throw
home
this out there.
invasion. You defend yourself.
We got a lot of talk about princesses. You could only save one princess. We're going a little off rail, but we're staying top. You can only save one princess. Who are you saving?
Save?
That means Disney has no more princesses except that one.
Well, then I'm going with the modern day Princess Tiana.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a real good one.
I think I'm sticking with Rapunzel.
Well, I'm gonna give you mine, and there's a good theme of it. I'm going Alice.
Okay.
So,
The little
going
pill
Alice.
popper.
I mean, think about all the adventures she could have, and she doesn't go anywhere. I'm just saying. All right, on to the next one.
So,
All right, we're gonna go into Star Wars. 3 films,
Ooh.
1 can stay, 2
I
have
knew
to
this
go.
was coming. I knew
Alice
this
is not a princess.
Alice is a princess. Let's just
Alice is not a princess.
I agree with Malice on that. Alice
I
is
like
not a princess.
I like Entertainer 1987's Belle though. She is not classified as a princess.
hey,
She's a snooty, stuck up girl.
wait, Belle or Alice?
Belle.
Alice is a gangster.
What?
Like she's been to the other side. I mean, and has come back.
Belle is pretentious with her reading.
In what world is she a princess? Oh my gosh, because she
with
reads,
with
she's
her
pretentious.
reading.
So, all right, next, here we go. So we're going to Star Wars. I do know my own game. Dude, Alice has been there since day one. Alice comedy. She's like the OG princess. She's there longer
Alice
than
is
Mickey.
not a princess.
She's
might-
a damn drug addict, like Billy said. She's on an acid trip. She's-
I agree, Billy. Yes, she is
Hey,
a drug addict.
it takes a real one to go down the rabbit hole and bounce back. I mean,
Hey, so then everyone that was at Woodstock is a real one
absolutely 100%.
because they've all had the same
She's literally
experience.
a customer
Right,
on
okay.
Breaking Bad.
Real
so-
quick, guys, everyone in the comment, I know legality, she's not a princess. But if you followed me since the Medina Inc. days, I did an Alice drawing, and I have said she's a princess since then. Just an ongoing joke. Don't cancel me. Just
The
playing.
princess in
All right.
your eyes. Oh,
She is. All right, here we go. Second question. We're going to Star Wars.
dang it, man! I know you're doing
Okay.
this. You're doing
A New
Marvel
Hope?
right after. I don't want
A
to play
New
no
Hope?
more.
All right, here we
Okay.
go. A New Hope. Where's my list? Hold on. Pull it up real quick. Here we go. A New Hope, Phantom Menace, Force Awakens. To make it easier on you, all the first ones of each trilogy. A New Hope, Phantom Menace, Force Awakens. One's got to go, two stays. Or sorry,
No.
one stays, two's got to go.
I'm keeping A New Hope.
I'm keeping a New Hope. Well, even though I love all of them, and but they did my boy John Boyega completely wrong. They put him as like he was going to be something, and he wasn't. And forever that can go. So if that goes away forever, never existed, my boy's back on track, and he can do some cool stuff with Disney. But yeah, and keeping New Hope. That's classic.
See, and I gotta agree with Billy. I'm going Phantom Menace. That was yep, the double lightsaber. Darth Maul and Yoda are my favorite two characters in the Star Wars universe. And I mean, Darth Maul had a tragic ending, but overall, Phantom Menace stays. I mean, there was so much marketing for that. Even Pepsi One, when that was a thing, had like 30 different character cans. Like Phantom Menace all day. A New Hope is really good, but I think Phantom Menace is the one that stays.
I like what Kevin said. If
You
there
like
was only
Darth
one
Maul
Star
over
Wars.
Boba Fett?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Nah.
Boba Fett to me, growing up, has the iPhone syndrome, where it's like you're cool if you have an iPhone, or you're just a mad hater on him. And I am 100% a mad hater on Boba Fett because everyone loved him for his 30 seconds of fame.
Did
I mean,
you
if 30
really
seconds-
just say I hate him because he was popular?
Exactly. I'm not gonna lie about it. That's exactly why everybody loved him. I was like, you know what? Just to be against you, I don't like him.
Because he was Billy Badass. Like, all right,
And then the
okay.
show, I mean, we'll get down that rabbit hole on
Yeah.
Knights of the Road Republic. All right. The next one, we're gonna skip Marvel and come back to it, so that way David doesn't call it.
Yeah.
We're gonna go into Pixar.
All right.
All right. Ratatouille, Toy
Ooh.
Story, Up.
Toy Story
What?
stays.
Yeah,
Because then I get all of Toy Story.
But dude, Up had me sitting there with my kids, kind of tearing up a little bit, or smelling onions.
What?
Ratatouille, I just loved that story. It was such a complete, really amazing. God dang it, man! Can we just get rid of one?
No.
Nope. You gotta get rid of two.
Wait, what'd you say, Sam?
I said we get Toy Stories because we have how many Toy Stories at this point? 5, 4.
We have as many Toy Stories as we have Land Before Times. They just keep going.
Yes,
Man.
and we
I
have
agree.
all of the shorts.
I agree with Entertainer. I say Up stays. Up broke boundaries for storytelling. Like the first 10 minutes, it's like you face a tragic, and then you have a tragic piece in the middle of the movie, and they're like, we're gonna flip this where you love this movie.
Toy
On me,
Story
I
has
go
a
Up.
legacy that cannot be really touched in Pixar.
But is it a legacy because it was good, or is it a legacy before because it was first?
It's a legacy because it's a continued story that
It's
multiple
good and it's
generations
first.
multiple generations have been able to enjoy. They can build entire lands and attractions out of it. They're not going to do that with Up. I love Up, but it's a one and done story.
Yeah, see, for me, Toy Story was good up until they dropped 4. And once they dropped 4, it dropped the score for me altogether.
I'm torn. Wow. Here, I'm gonna flip a coin.
Kevin says Up has a
All
great
right.
start, then it devolves into talking dogs.
I agree with Sam.
I mean,
I'm
I'm okay
keeping
with
Toy
that.
Story. Keeping Toy Story. The other two can go. God, that
Dang,
sucks.
dude. I'm sorry, man. But it's the game worse. We're gonna have to go into Marvel.
Mm.
So Marvel.
I'm having bad internet connection right now.
He's borrowing
This
my
one you might
Indiana
not
Wi-Fi for the Marvel question.
Hey, this one you might not have a problem with. All right. Captain America, Winter Soldier, Infinity War, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness.
Multiverse of Madness can go.
Instantly, I don't know why you even threw that in there. And I'm gonna be honest, I think Winter Soldier was definitely kind of a crime thriller superhero kind of action movie. Like it was everything. Infinity War was an ensemble, and honestly, if we don't get that, we will get something else. So I would say Infinity War can go. I'm keeping Winter Soldier. That's a classic. It's one of my top 2 favorite movies of all time in the Marvel.
I would also I agree for the exact same reasons. Alex says keep Infinity War.
So for Marvel, Marvel was the hardest one, which is saying before, to create a list for, because for instance, like we just shared, Multiverse of Madness, it was a no-brainer. There is so many movies that are where stacking the 3, it's easy to find out 1, 2, 3. Mm-hmm. And so when I was doing this, I was like, I was writing them and I was like, that's an easy 1, 2, 3. I almost know, especially since the tribe is right here and now, I almost know what they're going to pick. So it was really hard trying to put 3 in a pot to really cause you to be like, oh, like we did with Pixar, where it's like, oh man, I'm torn. So that was a really hard one. The only backup one that I was going to do was the Avengers, but I feel like I know that one as well. So that was the list I came up with.
If you went through Civil War in there, Captain America, still, it would have been tough, and I probably would have rage quit and refused to answer, but I would probably land it back on Winter Soldier. I mean, Winter Soldier is just, it's a really perfect, almost a perfect movie.
I don't disagree with that. I think Civil War is good, but Civil War is good because it has a lot of extra flavor. Winter Soldier by itself is a standalone. You could watch Winter Soldier and just enjoy that by itself. And
here's why Civil War is actually good, because it set the bar for how you're supposed to introduce new characters. When we got Peter Parker and when we got T'Challa, that's how you introduce. You don't do the whole like Thanos half second at the end. That was the perfect benchmark for how you introduce characters going forward. And it's hard. That would have been a hard one for me, but I would have landed on Winter Soldier.
All right. So the 5th and final round, we're going to call it the Big 3. And these are, you can only keep 1 trilogy.
Oh.
All right. So when I say trilogy, it's only the first 3. So for example, Toy Story has 4, but it's only the 3, not the 4th one. So Pirates of the Caribbean live action, Captain America series, or Toy Story?
Captain America.
So we're just calling everything trilogies now, huh?
Well, that's why I said the first 3, because the first 3 would be a trilogy. When you go 4th, it's not.
I'm keeping Captain America.
Yeah, I'm keeping Captain America.
Man.
You got the Marvel tribe here, man. Like it's.
So we got some people saying Pirate stays.
If I want to go visit Pirates, I'll go to Disneyland and go ride the ride. But Captain America trilogy stays.
Because Captain America informed a lot of the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
So you lose a lot of elements for the entirety of the MCU if you lose Captain America.
Yep.
If you lose Pirates, you lose Pirates. It doesn't inform anything else.
And speaking of tribe, a little plug. The tribe, us 3, are getting together this Thursday to record an episode. So be on the lookout for that. It should be a fun one where I don't want to say we're stirring the pot. That's probably not the right statement. We're getting creative thinking. So before we get on to our next subject, which is called mustard. If you've seen Alice, you know what mustard means. So think about that. Let us know in the comments what you think. And we are going to hear from our first sponsor right now. And here we go.
Where in the Park Seek and Find Image Scavenger Hunt games will have you exploring theme parks like never before. But this is not like your childhood scavenger hunts. There are no word-based lists of items to find or a binder of riddles, trivia, math, or counting. Our games contain cards with images of details that can be found throughout the park just by walking around. You can play on your own schedule, so you don't have to worry about long lines, height requirements, or health concerns. Need help finding an image? We've got you covered, with hints and answers on each card so you're never left wondering where in the park the image can be found. Use the Scan Before Playing card to reveal an alternate image if one of the cards in your pack is currently hidden or removed from the park. Order today to get game packs for your next visits to the Disneyland Resort and Walt Disney World theme parks. But the fun doesn't stop there. We also have games for Universal Studios in Hollywood and Florida, Knott's Berry Farm, Six Flags, SeaWorld, and more. Ready to experience your favorite theme parks in a whole new way? Go to www.whereinthepark.com/WaltzAPT podcasts to get 10% off your order. A portion of the sale will also go to support the Waltz Apartment podcast. Want $10 off your order instead? Visit patreon.com/WaltzAPT podcast to become a lamplighter. With so much more to discover, the only question is, do you know where in the park?
We appreciate Kevin and Amanda and Where in the Park. And talking about Where in the Parks, again, tune in Tuesday when we drop our second episode of Imagine That. We are going to be talking about all things park related. So it should be a good, creative episode. So, Mustard. So, Mustard, if you have watched, yeah, that's right. Quick little plug. If you're trying to get in depth about Sunken City and hear more about the history of it, myself and Amanda with Where in the Park did an interview, and there's an active giveaway going on all of our social medias, both Where in the Park, Sunken City Designs on both Facebook and Instagram. So go and check those out, and you have a chance to get a free 5x7 Mansion Buddies print.
Nice.
So Mustard, if you've watched Alice, there's a scene where the Mad Hatter yells Mustard, and he's stoked, and he's like, hold on, wait a minute, no. So throughout the journey of Undisputed, we've always had those, oh, I agree, hold on, what did you just say? So it is a chance for us to get into our bigger topics. But you, the watchers, obviously for the listeners later on down the road, you are missing out. We encourage you to watch the show. But this is where everybody in the comments, if you feel myself, the Cheshire Copperpot, Malice have beaten this topic to no end, you have a chance to put hashtag new cup in the comments. And this is letting us know that this topic is dead and gone. Let's move on. If it's just one person, we'll keep on going. If it's two people, we'll start debating it. If all of a sudden, all 16 viewers that are watching this right now, all of a sudden start dropping new cup, well, then it's time for a new cup and for us to move down. So our first topic that we have is, are you a fan of shows in the park? And by shows, this Kevin's coming in hot. He's just new cup already. Shows meaning parades, live action performances, anything that requires you to sit down, partake in actors or actresses or anything like that, or even animatronics, nod to the Country Bears. Are you a fan of shows in the park, and what makes a good show?
Yes.
We'll go with Malice first.
Yes, air conditioning.
Air conditioning makes a good show?
Yes. And a chance to take a nap. But as far as the actual show goes, I like when there is actor to fan involvement. I like when there's an element of humor. But again, air conditioning, like that Florida heat, you sometimes just need a break, and seating where your kids can sit, take a break, get out of the sun. Malice does the Florida parks. Kevin understood where I was going. Air conditioning, though, that's what we love the most about shows at Walt Disney World. But Jen brought up my favorite, Festival of the Lion King, which is an entirely beautiful, wonderful spectacle. If you've never seen it, I would tell you to look it up. because of the music and the dancing and the interaction with the crowd. For me, it's that interaction. Of Frozen Sing Along is another one that I think is a great show because it has that interaction. Kids get to get involved. You get to be part of the show. So for me, interaction, air conditioning, those are my things.
David, what about you?
Nope. Don't like them at all.
No.
Big no. The only shows I've actually liked and enjoyed and sat and watched was when I went to DCA and they did the Avengers, like the fight scenes and stuff like that. But when you add in singing and everything, it's too much like a musical. I don't want it. I didn't ask for it, and I feel really bad about myself that I paid a couple $100 to sit through something I don't want to sit through. So no, I don't want it. I want to walk away and go ride some rides where everyone else is distracted watching the musicals. So that's me.
Wow.
Yep.
So
Entertainer 1987 says Enchanted Tales with Belle also make us part of the story too. Yep.
So I think some shows, Lion King, for instance, which they just got rid of at Disneyland, which I'm kind of bummed about because it was really good. Some shows where the music is, where the show and the music balance, I'm okay with that. Obviously, I've said it here countless times. When the music and or the show does not balance, Rogers the Musical, I get I didn't see it in person, but 4K YouTube, I mean, really, what's the difference at that point? It didn't mix. I mean, there's some shows that the music is Frozen. I thought Frozen looked good, but just the storyline, they rushed it. It was like choppy, where Aladdin was choppy, but still just played well with each other. Like it didn't seem choppy, as where Frozen seemed like the early 2000s when your CD was skipping the driveway. You're like, dang it, I just missed a good part. So I don't mind shows, but I am not a fan of bad shows. Like you can have some really good shows and you can have some really bad ones, but right now I feel like we're getting a lot more bad ones. We got our first new cup. Rogers was awesome. Bring it back.
Rogers was the worst show ever created, ever invented. They need to fire the person who brought that about. So,
well, that would be
it was not
whoever
Kevin.
put it into Hawkeye.
It wasn't Kevin.
Kevin allowed it.
Look, I'll say the last thing I enjoyed that was musical and Disney that they had to offer was Captain EO. That was back in the 80s at Epcot. So,
See,
Alex said, "Step back from the ledge, David."
I don't mind. I didn't mind Captain EO. I saw it when they brought it back, and it was even on its tail run there.
I couldn't watch it.
I saw when they did that first One More Disney Day, the 24 hours thing. We saw Captain EO, and it wasn't terrible. For me, though, it pulled me out of Disneyland. I was like, why is Michael Jackson on the screen? What is going on here? But that was also my first introduction to him, or first introduction to Captain EO, and my last. And for me, it just threw me off. I was like, I don't understand that. But then there are some shows that I'm like, this was not good. I'm not a fan of the Avengers campus shows. And the only reason why is you have so many characters in there and you're running the same show. I get seasonal. You don't have it costs a lot to change it over. But I mean, right now, your stories aren't even backing the MCU. I mean, Black Widow's still out there fighting. In the MCU, she's gone. Like, I do think that they bring these characters out for Disney Plus shows because they're in the area. Well, if that's the case, then you should, kind of retire the characters that are no longer in the MCU. Because for the most part, I mean, they're forgotten. Yes, the merch does sell. But
what if you retire them and then just bring them back for special occasions?
That'd be
like
tight.
Parties.
Yeah. Because like right now, we were there 2 weeks ago, and they had Black Widow fighting Taskmaster. Captain America was helping. I'm like, none of these characters are even relevant in the MCU anymore.
All right, I'm pushing back on that because no other Disney property, when their characters get killed off, whether it's the Wicked Witch or not, doesn't show up in the park because they're like, well, she got done for her. She shouldn't be here.
No, but they don't have key roles like Black Widow does right now. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that they shouldn't they should just retire it and be done with it. No, because I think kids growing up that don't know what these characters are should have some exposure to them. But at the same time, I don't think those two characters should have the main show. I mean, Spider-Man show is really cool, but I mean, they didn't say it followed the MCU, but their marketing is saying they're following the MCU. I mean, every time there's a new Disney Plus show that's MCU related, guess who pops up into the park? That character. So they may not be marketing it that or saying that it is, but they are marketing it to say that this is following along the MCU. For instance, Taskmaster fighting Black Widow. Where did that happen? In the Black Widow movie. So we can say it, they didn't say it, but their storylines are very much following the timeline of the MCU. Thor showing up in Doctor Strange's show. I think Doctor Strange's show is worse than the Black Widow show.
What?
Yeah. Just because, and not that it's bad for what it is, but there's so much room for more. You could have easily had where you can't guess who it is. At one point, it's like, who should we bring? You have kids out there yelling, Captain America, Black Panther. He's like, Thor? It's like, no, you guys should really keep it on your toes. These characters are already here. Have 2 or 3 in rotation where the kids don't know who it is. They know it's Thor. And then Thor comes out like drunk Thor with his giant gauntlet. It's like, that's the Thor we wanted to summon? Like,
so your thing is add more characters, not get rid of it because it's bad.
Be more creative.
I'm okay with that take. I mean, be more, because I really thought you were going with the whole, if they don't exist, they shouldn't. In which I really think you're trying to say is you hate Mufasa. You don't want to see him in any of the Disney parks. You're done with it. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, no, my apologies for that. No, I just think there is a lot more. If, for instance, and I could probably ask everybody in the chat too, after like 5 p.m., Avengers Campus is done. And I get it's a campus and we can put up that storyline. But there are a lot of new characters that they've introduced at nighttime. Werewolf, I get it. They try to bring him only out at Halloween time. I mean, there's Moon Knight. I mean, there's so many. Moon Knight, for a show that not a lot of people are talking about, that's a perfect opportunity for marketing to have him, especially 2 different versions of him, Mr. Knight and Moon Knight, fighting somebody on Avengers Campus at night. Like, that'd be so rad. So I take back what I said. I don't think those shows are trash or bad, but they have ran their course. And it's time for something fresh and adding new characters.
New. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
But in the same regard, how many kids are going to recognize Moon Knight? You still want a family experience.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jen was saying. Like Jen was saying, little kids don't know as much as you do. So, like, if you have Moon Knight, like that battle you were just talking about, kids aren't going to understand what's happening there.
You are going to have your marquee characters that are definitely kids are going to know about. They're universally Hulk, Spider-Man, Thor. Those are the universal, the A-list when it comes to all family from little kids.
The Avengers.
Yeah,
but nobody's saying that you can't do your standard meet and greets with them, and the shows introduce new characters, so it causes that interest. I mean, let's say Captain America. Mm-hmm. Right now, they are going to that transition of Sam Wilson being the new Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
You see traditional Steve Rogers, and I use the word traditional just because if you're a kid, you're not taking any types of outside influences. It's just that was the first Captain America. That's the second one. There's no any outside opinions like that.
Steve Rogers is the second Captain America.
What's that?
Steve Rogers is the second Captain America.
Valid point. Apologies. But I'm saying, so why isn't Sam Wilson out there more often? Granted, the last few times I have been there, you do see him. But more often than not, you see Steve Rogers over Sam Wilson. You're about to drop a movie with Sam Wilson. You dropped a show with Sam Wilson. You've dropped him in a lot of stuff, and he is your marquee Captain America coming up on this next stretch. Like, so Courtney's saying, I see him all the time.
You see both.
Well, so she sees both. But on an average weekend, when the guests that can't go as often as we are lucky to go with, chances are they're going to see Steve Rogers over Sam Wilson more.
Mm.
You're going to see, or go the other way. You'll see traditional Black Panther versus Shuri's Black Panther. I mean, M'Baku played a big role in Wakanda Forever. He was there for a little bit and done. So I think the live shows could be better. I don't think they're great, but I think right now Disney is lacking on them a lot.
So
Again,
Sam more than Steve. Okay. So it could be just, it could be anecdotal. Just the experiences you've had is different than some of the other people's experiences who's been to the park. So it may be just a mixed bag. But I hear what you're saying about the overall rotation of the same sequence of shows that they have. So,
but we got a couple new cups in there. So,
entertainer. No, I don't think anybody forgot that Belle was a princess because she married a prince. We knew that, but we just chose not to keep her as our princess. We would keep
because she's annoying as hell.
You heard it here first.
Gaston was right.
I disagree with that. But
Gaston was right.
So, our next topic, refillable. Sam, I'm curious. In Walt Disney World, do you guys have a lot of merchandise that allows you to get refills at a fraction or free price? Do you guys have a lot of items like that where it's free?
I mean, as far as drinks and popcorn, that's about what we have.
Okay.
Do you guys have something different?
We have the Magic Key bucket right now. That is, it's refillable for I think it's $1.75. So I'm curious though, why don't we? I feel like refillable stuff is a marketing gold mine for the most part. Why is it that we don't see much more of it? I get the pandemic, but even pre-pandemic, we didn't see a lot of refillable stuff, or even like what do they call them in the other parks where you got your meal passes and stuff like that? Why don't we see Disney dwelling in that, especially when it's a good marketing scheme? I mean, we bought probably, I'd say 5 or 6 refills of popcorn. Granted, $2 is a lot less than the original price, but $2 for popcorn when popcorn probably costs pennies on the dollar, like that's a steal. So I'm curious why we don't see more of that in the parks.
Because I think that merchandising can be kind of greedy, and they assume that we are going to just buy another one.
And you do.
And pay the $20 instead of the $2.
And you do.
So if they don't offer it to us, then our choice is to just buy it. What would you want? What would you want to be a refillable?
Well, I mean, so you mentioned the key things, obviously drinks. I mean, in certain theme parks that you have your character themed cups. You go to like places like SeaWorld, any theme park, they have those generic like plastic stamped cups with like a sticker on it, and those are commonly refillable for like $2 or $3.
I mean, we have those at the resorts. Yeah,
I would actually pay a pretty good premium for refillable Dole Whips and churros.
Well, Alex brings up something. He says not $1.75. So when we go and we buy popcorn, now this is just going as the average guest. I'll buy a popcorn bucket for the kids, but that's it. That's their, let's make it last for the day. But at $1.75, I went back and refilled that thing about 5 or 6 times. If we would have had more time at the park that day, it probably would have been double that. So I'm just curious, or they have these popcorn buckets. Why aren't all popcorn buckets, since you're already making the money off them, why aren't you adding that other perk? Because in Disney parks, if you break something, if your popcorn bucket breaks with the receipt, you can go exchange it. With that, they're now losing out on potentially $2. So why can't they take that same kind of plan and say, hey, we're going to offer free refills on all of our exclusive popcorn buckets?
So I can kind of guesstimate, because I don't know definitively, because I don't even know the cost of what you would pay retail for that. But I'm sure whatever that retail cost is, it's probably worth $5 to them. Like it literally
probably.
It's a nothing.
Okay, so Lewis, I agree with you that all of the popcorn buckets should be refillable. It's flipping popcorn. Like they should all be. And I did not realize that you guys do not have like refillable mugs. Like we have them for the resorts. But I think that refillable mugs are definitely something that would be easily marketable.
And honestly, I mean, if you were to do that, people would probably buy the exclusive ones more. And another reason why I asked that, the Valentine's balloon ones went out. We went, I think it was 2 weeks before Valentine's Day. Actually, that's just a week ago. So we went there. They had the pink ones. Normally, those new balloon ones sell out pretty quick. Those are there. We also saw the Valentino one, which that obviously has its own rabbit hole of why it didn't sell. The Mickey Mouse train ones, those are still there in stock. So, like, I'm just curious if they offered free refills or reduced price refills, because obviously nothing's free anymore. That would add so much more revenue to the park. Yes, $1.75 doesn't seem like that, but when you go to the Mustang theory, and the Mustang theory goes, if I approve a 3-cent bolt on all the cars we make, that can come out to $300,000 for one small bolt. So yes, $1.75 does not seem like a lot, but if everybody's doing it, if every guest at Disneyland is spending $2 on just a popcorn refill, that's a lot of revenue that they're bringing in. And all they had to do was say, yes, you can get a second popcorn at half the price. And I'm just surprised why we're not seeing that.
I think they should introduce like a foodie pass. Like if you have a foodie pass, you pay for it up front and you get that premium, that service and stuff. So one, they'll keep those who want to just buy they're kind of filling your trap. Basically, I mean, let's be real. You're trapped and you're in the park. You're going to buy food. You're going to buy candy. You're going to buy this. But there's those, just like with rides and shortcuts and everything else, you can buy a foodie pass, and now you can maybe pick one of your items to be refillable throughout that day and stuff. And you pay a premium price, and they'll make just as much money with that, if not even more.
And you could do it with churros. I mean, you invent something like a churro card.
I will
where,
pay for that.
Hey,
or a pretzel card.
Especially when they have the exclusive churros going around. There's like 30 of them. Hey, for $14.99, you can get an all-day churro pass. So you can get you go to all the churro stands. You can try the one churro for free on there.
I think what Kevin said is probably why they don't do it. Because
it says already like a long line,
long lines and stuff. Or if it's already long lines just to get your initial, then to get refills and everybody's doing, that might be a problem.
So how much more is it to invest in, say, just a handful more popcorn carts?
Yeah.
Well, that's why the pass. I say create a foodie pass because you have the upfront costs right there. So now you already know. You're not speculating and you're not guessing that, these bottlenecks are things. You know how many passes that people who really wants to take advantage of these free refills.
And not only that, if I pay $20 for a churro card, right, and just for speculation, you can try every exclusive churro just once. You don't get endless with them, but you can try every exclusive churro just once. If all of a sudden I'm getting tired and I leave for the day and I only got 2 churros at $20, they don't have popcorn carts at every 10 feet. That's a bit over exaggerating there. I think there's one in each land, and some lands are pretty massive. So I mean, like, if you were to sit there and say, hey, here's $20 for a churro card, but you only ate 2, guess who made out? It's like a buffet. At $15 a person, and that person eats 1 plate, the buffet made out. If it's $15 a person and that person ate 10 plates, it's kind of a wash.
You know what they need to do?
I'm okay with that, though.
Okay, so you know how they do the refills at the resorts for the mugs? There's an RFID chip in the cup. So you put your cup in, and then you get to pick your drink or whatever. And it's for the duration of your stay. What if we had RFID chips in the bottom of the popcorn buckets, and we had like self-serve like popcorn things where it just distributed the popcorn into your thing, whatever the size of your thing is, and then you just fill it up and walk away.
Like a popcorn vending machine?
Like a popcorn vending machine.
You still have lines. You still have the problem with the bottlenecks.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, if you can make it like a bar, kind of how like the drink stations
just a row of the machines. They go up to the bar, fill up. If you
Yeah, and it's got an RFID in it. And it's scanned to however long your refillable option is for.
That does nothing for my churros, though.
Churros are different.
I want churros
I mean-
all day. I will pay like $70 for a churro pass. And I promise you, I will get my money.
The resorts don't have lines for the refill stations. Yep.
But also, too, your guys' Walt Disney World is like 3 times the size of Disneyland. So there's a lot more room to really explore that. Disneyland, I mean, especially when the Disneyland is trying to, make sure the revenue is high. I mean, if you were to open up like a food pass, they have the Sip and Savor pass. If you did that same technology, but you get to eat at the restaurants, you have a certain menu where it's not your a la carte menus, but it's your, all right, you get a cheeseburger and fries for a fraction of the cost or for free because you paid the $60, $70 for the day. That's revenue to them. And again, going back to, if I don't eat at all the restaurants or I only eat once, then Disney made out on that. Like, I don't know why they're not capitalizing on these things where you get more bang for your buck versus, like we talked about last time, and I won't go into it too much because I did say that topic is dead, but where it's Genie Plus and it's a gamble if it's a good deal or not. Food is always a guaranteed good gamble. Oh, I got a burger because it was cheap. Like, boom. Like, nobody's unhappy with food. I mean, so, and right now, with all the events, it's like, hey, here's our theme, and there's a foodie guide. Here's our theme, here's the foodie guide. Like, the foodie guide is going hand in hand with Disneyland right now, or Disney theme parks.
Yes, that. All you can eat churros. I don't know about the popcorn, but churros and Dole Whips.
If they were to explore different flavored popcorns that they do have, like in Tokyo and all that.
Courtney said that's what the dining plan is for. And I personally love the dining plan. I always, like, when we always used it.
But the dining plan, you're still just paying regular price, correct? You're just building out your day?
No. You get to, because the price points are pretty similar. They're pretty similar. There depends on if you use it correctly or not.
So it's like making reservations ahead of time?
Well, yes, because you get a certain amount of table service, a certain amount of quick service, and a certain amount of snack credits for the duration of your stay. Okay. And then you get to obviously like book your reservations for your table service. Courtney said, now granted, it works different in Disneyland where you get vouchers, but still dining plan is where it's at. I always used the dining plan.
So the reason I asked too is because SeaWorld, I'm going to say it out loud. I don't know what everyone's quarrels with SeaWorld. I can't afford to take my kids while watching. I love SeaWorld. Don't cancel me. I'm sorry what they do to animals. I really am. But I don't get a chance to take my kids while watching. So, but with that, it's like $96. $96, which is a lot for one day. You could eat at like one of 7 restaurants on the hour of every hour. So you can eat one time for every hour that you're there. And it provides drink, appetizer, a main course, and a dessert for $96.
Really?
Why is it? I mean, and yes, it's with a dining pass, you're paying the price you're going to pay anyway, but you're getting there a little quicker. Imagine paying $96 and it's a rainy day and you're like, you know what? Screw it. We're going to make our own little food tour and just eat at all the restaurants and enjoy a rainy day.
But also you have to look at it this way too. Take that promo, that package, and same place at the SeaWorld, and you take Disneyland customer base and you stick it in there, you have a disaster. You just have a full on, like, it's not saying it's not popular, it's nowhere near the popularity impact as, I mean, so that's where I think if they got Disneyland's customer base, they wouldn't do that anymore. They would end that program.
But not only that though, you could sit there and do that you could add an a la carte to your mobile orders. Hey, mobile order plus. And now you get to mobile order and your food's cheaper. But think about that. We're going to add, so going forward, the Mad Tea Party is going to have a lot of these questions on our Instagram the following day. So be prepared for that. But I have been reminded that we have one more sponsor that we do not want to leave out. So get your heads in gear, and we're going to hear from Getaway today.
Well, hello, and welcome to Let's Get to Know Our Sponsor. Getaway Today has been helping Disney vacation dreams come true since 1990. Whether you choose to visit the happiest place on earth or travel to Orlando and beyond, they want to help you. Need to know the best hotel in the area? What theme park ticket should you buy? Have a last minute change? No worries. Their travel experts are always here to help. Want to book a cruise and don't know where to start? Hey, they can help with that too. They will help you find the perfect cruise for your vacation, whether it is your first time or you're a well-seasoned cruiser. When you book your cruise with one of the Getaway Today's experts, you will have a dedicated agent to help you every step of the way. They take care of the details so you can have the most fun. Getaway Today has layaway, peace of mind travel, allowing you to cancel or make changes up to 72 hours in advance. You will always have the most up-to-date vacation information, both pre-arrival and upon your welcome. Getaway Today will guarantee the best prices with no hidden fees. And every time you book through Getaway Today, they will donate a portion back to a charitable organization in your area. And so far, over $4.5 million has been donated. So click the link in our show notes to start your Disney vacation planning for more information and the best deals. Tell them Walt's Apartment sent you. And until next time, enjoy the view from Walt's Apartment.
So I'm not sure. Well, it's a question for when we're off the air. So I think it could be a good idea. Obviously, there are some bugs that they have to fix and stuff like that to make it work, but I think it can be a killer revenue stream for the parks. And another reason for people to get premium access like Genie Plus. So
I think it's worth a try. What worst case scenario, it doesn't work. There's extra lines. People are used to that and stuff like that. It just, you do away with it. But it could be a big hit. And people love it. And they love it so much that they figure out how to make it work for them. And it's a new revenue stream that just gives Iger another Golden Boy sticker. So,
and if Disney comes out with this in the next 2 or 3 years, you heard it here first. Just saying.
Cut the Matt Hater a check.
Yes. They're gonna cut me a check and then repo it for all the negative I talk. So they're gonna hit me with those Donald Duck coins. They drop it in on a string and pull it back out.
Yeah, they're gonna give you credits.
So with the end of this show going forward, we are gonna have what we call your unbirthday request. And what the unbirthday request is we are gonna take questions based on what we've been talking about tonight from the audience. We're not going to go down what you have for Thanksgiving, stuff like that, but we are going to take questions from you, just a couple of them, questions regarding Mad Tea Party, the stuff to get our thought processes going, stuff to stir the pot. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns that you want to let us know in the chat, we're going to take the last few minutes of the show to hear what you got. So hit us with some good ones. We are not doing personal questions. It is only all things Disney in the Mad Tea Party realm. The only time Alice was considered a princess was in Kingdom Hearts games. Did anyone play those? I did play Kingdom Hearts, and I'm going to be very honest. I never got off the island in the first level.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
So, but yes, and according to Alice, she's not a princess, but I will hold her on the high throne above any princess.
Okay. You do that.
In my eyes.
So let's see what are the questions you guys have regarding all things Disney. Let's drop some tea in this party.
Is there some tea you guys want us to talk about? Or say something to Spike Lewis, the Mad Hater's blood sugar.
Oh yeah.
She's not a princess. She's not a princess.
You know what? If that's the case, Walt wasn't real. I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
I thought you were going to say like something.
This is Alex, I think. If you could create a show for the parks based on a Disney property that has not yet had a show in the parks, what would it be?
Oh, I like that one.
Well, I don't know enough about the parks, but I can say this may be in the show already. Maybe it's not. But what's his name from the Goofy movie?
Powerline?
Powerline. I'll create a Powerline show.
You got to put it in Toontown. That'd be so gangster.
Yeah, I'll create a Powerline show.
I like it.
Oh. So
I
for
like
me, I would, and I know I'm going to get some hate for this probably, I would drop World of Color or have World of Color on the weekends, and you do like a water show, but it's surrounded about Atlantis, where you got like steampunk, like they're just coming to, coming to surface, and they're popping the lids and stuff like that. I would say Atlantis, and you do it like a float type of show, where I mean it's obviously really hard because it's a lagoon. They don't have the luxuries of Fantasmic, or you put on Fantasmic in the Fantasmic Lagoon, where you run that off season of Fantasmic when Fantasmic goes down for maintenance. You run Journey to Atlantis, and they have their boats coming up from the water or stuff like that.
Powerline.
Can't go. I'm not saying off season, because obviously World of Color and Fireworks is one of their more expensive shows to do. So when it's down or being recreated for, name 4 characters from Atlantis. We got Milo. Is it Keela?
Mm-hmm.
You got the Doc, which is the chef, and is it Munch? Mole.
Is it Mole?
The dirt guy. And those are the only names I remember, but I can tell you all the characters based on their similarities and what they do.
Kita. There you go.
Yeah.
Kita.
So
I still think we need a Coco show. And I know y'all don't love musicals, but
Nope.
I don't mind Coco as long as they really pull out the Imagineering to really give us that way to tell real life and the afterlife. If they can give us a way to really sell that magic, I'm all in. But if they can't sell that, then I'm out.
Atlantis would never sell with kids today, because they have no idea. And I'm reading the Imagineering Way, and the Imagineers say that their primary goal in any kind of planning is to create a family experience.
I feel like Atlantis would. It's like the Disney Junior version of Avatar. Like
they have a smaller Coco show in DCA at Plaza de Familia. It's seasonal. Okay, I did not know that. Thank you, Alex.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool one. I think it deserves its own location though, because it just clogs that walkway. It's a really beautiful show, but Coco has a huge fan base, like huge. They don't know the movie. I'll give you that. They don't know the movie, but I think if they were to redo that movie, I think it would have a huge following.
Then why wouldn't you just use Moana and have the same kind of experience?
Because Moana and Atlantis are not the same. They are surrounded by water, but not in the same realm of, like, Moana.
For you, yes, but could you take the same features and make it relevant for families currently with Moana, the way that they just did The Way of Water?
But I was just going to say, but the question is what show that they have not done, and Moana has a show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a
walkthrough, but yeah.
But yeah.
I'm telling you.
I actually just saw a video.
Give me Caroline featuring BTS, and maybe bring back the Backstreet Boys or something. They can open up for Powerline.
Disney does not own the Backstreet Boys.
Doesn't
Emperor's
matter.
New Groove would be a great show. That would be a great if you had like the characters doing like a Disney Junior dance party. That would be lit.
No, it'd be cool. So you have an animatronic, you have a person in a Kronk costume come out with like one of those like old school wheelbarrows where he's pulling them, and I'm gonna get some slack right here from Kevin. Kevin, get ready. If you do like Donkey from Universal Studios, where he's just talking to people as a person in there, and it's just an animatronic head of Cusco, and he's walking around Disney parks. The not Kronk, that's the wrong character. That's Yzma's person.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I blanking his name?
I want trained llamas.
But if you did, I'm blanking the guys that helped Cusco, but you have him walking around pulling one of those like wagons, and he's like sitting in there. Yes, Pacha. Thank you.
Pasha.
You have him wheeling around this wheelbarrow with him sitting in there, and the head is talking to people based on what you're wearing. They're like, "Hey, I like that Nike shirt." You know, they're making modern day references. I think that'd be fun, especially
That would be.
with the comedy he's allowed. I think that'd be. It's like Donkey from Universal Studios. Not trying to go down that rabbit hole.
I mean,
but
I love Kronk. I would like Kronk to be around too.
yeah,
I
they have
have,
that.
I have another one.
I think I would like Yzma too.
You could do Kronk with Yzma in the backpack.
And the poison. What poison? The poison for Cusco.
Yep.
Cusco's
So-
poison.
I'm gonna go back to my Marvel roots here, and I would say this: if they did, and this isn't a musical, but if they did a Star-Lord dance party where Star-Lord is a DJ playing his mixtapes, that right there,
They
would
have
be,
that.
Do they really?
Yeah, it's in front of Guardians of the Galaxy. It's now just Gamora and Star-Lord, but at one point it was Mantis. At one point they had Groot, and then Rocket used to be in the TV, like doing it. It's definitely dwindled down a little bit, but they do have that. It's so short though. I think it's only like 10 to 12 minutes, but it's also in a very heavy congregated area, so that's probably why. But they have that.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
that's what I would.
Guardians
that's what they're
dance
doing.
off.
Yes.
Yep.
Just DJ, Star-Lord's DJing, and he plays all his mixtapes, and he throws in stupid jokes in between.
I'm so glad they got rid of Mantis though, because like her dance skills, like she just like, did the whole standing there, and I was like, oh, get rid of her. Just stop.
Didn't she do? She did the Mantis. I'm assuming the little.
Yeah, yeah, she just stood there.
That's how they dance.
What other questions you guys got? I'm curious. That was a good one. What would you create a show? We'll take a couple more. I know Kevin's got some good ones in there. Come on, Kevin.
Fire them off.
Or Courtney.
Ooh, the Grandmaster with a DJ dance party.
Okay. Yes. And we get the
As
real Grandmaster. We get Jeff Goldblum to make an appearance.
Yeah, I'm
As-
sure that they're going
I
to
would
pull
buy
that off.
tickets. I would buy separate tickets just for that.
As much as the theming would be upside down, it'd be cool to see the Grandmaster be the DJ in the Tomorrowland Terrace Theater, like right there when you eat food, just because it fits Sakar, it fits that a little bit better. But you put him on that dance theater.
Yeah, I would. I
Amanda would
definitely
also pay
extra.
money for that.
I'll pay extra for that.
Live action Jaws stunt show for Lou.
Oh yeah, we're talking about all Disney properties. I mean, they own Aliens and Predator now.
Oh
Is,
man,
is Ripley a princess?
are we gonna start brewing our Sons of Anarchy parade again?
Oh gosh.
Oh yeah, that's FX. They own that too.
Yeah, you can get powder coated churros.
Oh,
It could be a dark ride where you're going through the pipeline.
Stop talking about churros. You're making me hungry.
I really like the free refill churro package. Like you can just buy.
Dude, the
I
churro card.
want to see that. I want a churro card from Disney.
I think that's
What
all
other
that the
ones
chat
you-
has for us tonight.
We got no
That's what
other
I'm
no
thinking.
questions, huh?
That's okay. We're gonna do unbirthday requests next week too, right? Or not next week, but in 2 weeks.
Yep. So going forward, mustard and on birthday requests will be every show thing. The Cheshire Games will be changing throughout these shows. Like that, Kevin?
Kevin,
That's how we're doing this, Kevin.
you got to read the comment for the podcast.
The Xenomorph Queen is more of a princess than Alice. Yes. This is true.
What comment?
Mad Hater is hating over here.
If
Always,
Alice can
always.
be a princess, so can Ripley. So
Well, if there's no more questions, we'll call it last call.
Closing time.
I got a funny story with Matt the Rat about that song. I'll tell you guys when we get off.
Okay.
All right, guys. Well, until next time, we hope you had a lovely time here at the Mad Tea Party, and we will see you guys again in 2 weeks. Have a
After
good night,
the
y'all.
Niners win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, what he said.